Good morning, Year 8, and welcome back after your Easter break. As you can see from the image here, I've got a little bit of a practical for you I'd like you to have a go at. Now, I know it's always difficult because what you've got in these difficult times might be quite tricky, but what I'd like us to have a go at doing is what we probably would have been doing at this point at school, which is making burgers. They're really, really simple. I myself have already been out a couple of times over the last couple of weeks in the Easter holidays having a barbecue. So what would be better than having a decent burger to try? So what we're going to have a look at, I mean, I've got this PowerPoint which is uploaded as an accessory on this assignment, and it goes through the different bits and pieces. Now, what I'd like you to do is try and have a go at this one. If you don't want to do a burger, I'm quite happy for you to do an alternative, and I'll come to that in a moment. I understand that we have to be a little bit flexible, but for those people that like the idea, I'd like you to have a go at this because I think it brings in loads of different skills that you've been learning about over the last few weeks. First of all, we've got these discussions around which methods to use when preparing the burgers, plus health and safety considerations. And I'd like you to be having this discussion with your parents, whoever's the adult that you're going to be doing this with. How can we avoid cross-contamination? Now, for those of you that have forgotten what cross-contamination is, it's such an important part at the moment of what we're doing because it's about making sure that you don't get the germs from raw meat and raw food onto other things that are being cooked, especially things like salads and stuff like that. You do not want to be handling raw meat, especially things like chicken, and then handling stuff that you are not going to cook because the germs are still going to be there. Obviously, at the moment, we're all being very, very careful to make sure that we keep our social distancing, but also that we wash our hands whenever possible. And that's something that is really key. As you know, I always talk about in the lessons, making sure that you wash your hands before you start. So here we've got, how can we avoid cross-contamination? I want you to have a discussion about that with the person that you are going to be doing this with. So think about it. What is it that you need to do to make sure there's no cross-contamination? The tools, yourself, the environment where you're going to be preparing these meals. And how can we ensure that burgers are cooked all the way through? Now, you're going to be dealing with meat for most of you. You will probably be using beef or maybe pork, or some people might go for chicken or even fish or a vegetarian one. There is potential problems, and God knows, if you've been to a barbecue and you've had undercooked chicken, really, really bad for you, causes terrible stomach aches and food poisoning. So what can we do to make sure that they're cooked all the way through? How do you know? How can you tell? What are the things you need to do with, the temperature and things like that? I will go over some of those bits and pieces for you. We've got the second slide. Today we're going to learn how to prepare a burger safely and independently. Well, kind of independently. You're going to need somebody there with you who's an adult. For all of you, I want you to be able to produce your burger safely, independently, and most importantly, hygienically. Think about making sure that we're not going to cause any problems for our family. God knows we've got enough issues as it is without people having food poisoning. Most of you will be able to produce your burger accurately and with a range of skills, justifying your choice of ingredients and your cooking techniques. Part of this is going to be chopping and using a knife, getting things quite fine. One of the things that I've seen quite a lot is people chopping onions, for example, and doing it with great big chunks. You do not want a burger with great big chunks of onion. Maybe you chop it by hand. Be a good thing for you to practice. Maybe even you use something else. I'd like to know about that. And then some at the top end will be able to produce your burger creatively with a wide range of skills. Justify your choice of ingredients and cooking techniques. And I'll talk about what you could do to add to this. The method. Well, the safety checks needed. And we've got this thing from Marks and Spencer's. Now, I will put this, it's in there, and I'll put it in there as well. It's how Marks and Spencer's do their one. It's a very, very quick, less than a minute, would you believe, of doing a quick burger. You've got over here, look, tips on how to make the best burger. Gordon Ramsay here as well. Deliciously easy. When you go on YouTube and you look at these ones, there's so many different ones that you can do because there's loads of people at the moment thinking about doing burgers. I'd love to know what you'd like, and I'll ask you to add those to it. We'll talk about what we're going to upload in a minute. Alternatives as well, we'll talk about that one. But This is the basic one, the burger evaluation. What skills have you used today? What has been successful about your burger? What other flavours or toppings could you have added? How could you have altered your recipe for a vegetarian? How did you help others during the lesson? Well, I presume that you haven't been doing that, that you haven't actually had those different bits and pieces. Now, the recipe itself, I will add this on there, but the basic simple recipe is pretty much what you see in the Marks and Spencer's one, where you take your raw mince, you add chopped onion, usually it depends on how much, but about one onion to about 500 grams, you add salt and pepper, and you form it into the individual patties. You squish those down, and then you actually cook them. So they're really, really simple. They're hardly even a recipe at all. But you may decide that you want to do some alternatives. And this is why I haven't deliberately given you a specific recipe. There's loads of different things that you could do. I'd like you to have a look around. There's basic ones. I've put in alternative burgers. These could be that you are vegetarian. You've got the Impossible Burger. And if I'm honest with you, I love, although I'm not vegetarian, I have been in the past, I do love a good vegan or veggie burger. They can be fantastic. You know, the best homemade veggie burger recipe, better than the store. You've got loads of these that could be an alternative. You don't have to have a beef burger. It can be as well a chicken burger. Now, that can be in a variety of different ways, and you can see, you know, your bog standard KFC style, that it is actually something which is a fillet that then is coated and then cooked. Or you can do this, which is where you use minced chicken instead. Can be fantastic. Might be something you might want to try. Prawn burgers. You know, that's another one as well. A prawn burger. Now, you might go, ooh, I actually really like them. They're a lot healthier, a lot lower in fat. They're really, really good for you. You got, oh no, you deluxe shrimp burger, Korean McDonald's. I know when I went to Japan, and I do love Japan, I've been there twice, and if you go into McDonald's in Japan, you can see a prawn burger. In fact, I might even know that. Let me see. Japanese McDonald's prawn burger. I remember these when I went over there, and you can see, there we go, the ebi fillet, and it actually is, it's really, really nice. You can see that it has a little bit of the kind of breadcrumbs on the outside, and of course, Japan being Japan, they love their seafood, so, you know, McDonald's changes its products depending on where it is. So maybe you want to try something like that. You know, it could be, they're really easy. The other thing that you can have a go at is, I mean, we talk about prawn burgers. Another one is tuna, because tuna can be a really, really good one. You can use tuna instead as an alternative. So there are loads of different alternative burgers that you can try, and I'd like you to think about that. You can stick with the bog standard one. You need a reasonably, you don't want really, really lean mince, because that means that sometimes it doesn't stick together, but you can add an egg in there to help stick it all together. See if you can find a decent one, and I'd love to hear what you've done. At the end of this, we've got this. Burger evaluation. What skills have you used today? What has been successful about your burger? What other flavours or toppings could you have added? How could you have altered your recipe for a vegetarian, which is what we already discussed about? How did you help others during the lesson? Well, number 5, you didn't do, but maybe somebody helped you out, so let me know. And we've got this sensory analysis. I'd like you to think about the burgers. Now, a star diagram, you can see that you've got different things on the star diagram. You can change these if you wish, but I think these are all different ones which are appropriate for a burger. And they go from 0 at the centre to 5 at the outside. 5 being like 5 stars. So if you think it was really, really bland, for example, this one is very, very bland. It wasn't too dry. It was bland and soft with a reasonable golden texture and quite chewy as well. Now, personally, I'm not so sure that I'd really like that one. You've got bland on one side. You might actually change this to really, really strong. Well, you've got chilies or other things inside it. I'd like you to think about that. So you've got 2 different ways of evaluating. I'd like you to choose which one you want to go. You can go for the bog standard one like that, or you can do it like this, or you can do both. And I'd love for you to upload an image of what you've cooked. So give me some sort of evaluation of what you've done. Give me an image of what you've done. how have you done with the burgers? If you really don't want to do a burger at all, if that's just not something that you want to do with your family, then by all means, just do it for a different food stuff that you're cooking. Just help out, cook anything. Be really simple. Scrambled eggs on toast if you wanted to, and then do me the sensory analysis and upload it. Love to see those bits and pieces. I'm going to give you until basically over the whole weekend. So you've got the weekend to have a little bit of a go at this one. Try it out. Tell me how it goes and get back to me on Monday. Hopefully we should have some fantastic ones. It's making me hungry now because you can see it's about 11 o'clock. I'm starting to think, nice burger, that would be lovely. I'm not going to do that just at the moment. Maybe towards the weekend I will try making some of those. Can't wait to see what you create and upload for me. Hope to speak to you soon and see you all. Take care, keep yourself safe, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.